Thank you for always choosing KBC Channel 1, and you're watching a Good Morning Kenya, and the segment on air is Family Check, and today we are going to talk about parenting and religion. What is the nexus between the two? In studio, I'm joined by 3 panelists who are going to give their take or their views on this parenting. On my far left is Njeri Ndaro, who is a psychologist and also a growth coach and trainer. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike.
And also there is Dr. Hassan Kenywa, who is a sheikh and a lecturer of religious studies at the University of Nairobi. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
And also Pastor Pearl Blessing, who is director of Star with Pearl. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike.
Karibuni sana. And let's now get into the thick of it. And I will start with you, Pastor Pearl. What is the nexus between religion and parenting?
Okay. One of the things is that most important things, remember that parenting, children are given by God. That's where we start from. So it's a gift from God. And when God gives you a gift, he gives you the wisdom to take care of it. And always when we want our children to grow in the right way, religion comes in, because there's a way that you are able to nurture and you are able to direct in a way that you have grown to know. And the religions are different. With honor to all religions, what you believe in is what you nurture your child to become. But when you neglect the religious part of it, sometimes you find that there could be confusion on the way the child grows. So it's very important to put basic on how we grow our children through the religion that we believe in as parents, and also give them room as they grow to make their own decisions also as they grow.
Let me come to you. What is parenting to you? And also, what is the nexus between parenting and religion?
Thank you so much, Mike, and thank you so much for everyone watching it. I will start with the second one.
Yes.
So as to come to the first one. When you look at the issue of parenting, since the beginning of humanity, since the beginning of creation, when you look at the book of Genesis in the Holy Bible, when you look at the book of Surah Al-Baqarah in the Holy Quran, Allah tells us, Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha wa batha minhuma rijalan kathiran wa nisaa wattaqullaha alladhi tasaaluna bihi wal arham inna Allaha kana alaykum raqiba. Ya ayyuhan nas, all people, ittaqu rabbakum, fear your Lord, alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida, who created you from one soul. وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا, from that one soul, he created the spouse. وَبَثَّ مِنْهُمَا رِجَالًا كَثِيرًا وَنِسَاءً, and from the two, then he brought many offsprings. So what you try to see is that from the beginning of creation, parenting began at that time. Because one, parenting could not have begun without creation, and then the same could not have happened without having male and female. And after that, now children came. And when we now talk of parenting, we are looking on a way of how parents pass values from one generation to the other, making sure that these offspring who come, the children who come, follow the best path. And of course, when you talk of parenting, we have positive parenting, we have negative parenting. And I believe here in this program, we are trying to talk about positive parenting. And of course, we must also mention and tackle some issues on negative parenting, so that parents who are doing negative parenting should stop it. So parenting is a way of trying to make sure that the children you have follow the best footpath, follow the best virtues, follow the best morals.
Yes. Njeri, from a psychologist standpoint, what is the nexus between the two?
I believe there should be a balance between the two, but depending on the religion that you are in, basically all religions impact values. And values are what we need in the society. Morals are what we need in the society. And we should not be extreme to either way, where we lack values, where we don't implement and enforce values on our children. And we should not also be extremists. So we have to balance the two, so that in the end run, we have a society that is good in morals. Yeah.
And now, from as a religious leader, what or how do you think, why does religion matter in the style of parenting that people with children decide to take?
Now, we have different styles of parenting, and these styles and majorly may not be affected by the kind of religion one has, because when you come, like, there's authoritarian and authoritative, the major ones. You find someone, the way they have grown up, the way they have been nurtured in their place of work, there's a lot of authority. So they try to apply authority and push, balancing with the religion at the same time. This style, if you the one which you choose, may cause each child to never to have confidence, because they were pushed into what they need to know. The most important thing is just, if it's Christianity now, like I'm a pastor, you base the basic of the Word of God. This child should have knowledge of the Word of God, and the basic that carries from the Sunday school, what they learn from the Sunday school, but they also need to get it from the parents. You find that there's nurturing in the Sunday school, there's a nurturing from the parent. And because of the kind of choices that we have in parenting, because let's say authoritarian, you find that you are trying to be friendly to the child, but you also want to direct. But you find the rotative is that there's strict rules, and this is like a military camp. You see, you could be having, I could be a pastor and I be authoritative. And you find that I lead children in a way that what will happen is that children will have low esteem, though there is the Word of God in it. So we need to balance, as she said, values and morals. You balance both of them, and also make children have a room for expression. Because some children are very strong and they have values. But you find, because of the kind of style I have chosen as a parent, let's say the kind I have chosen, maybe it's neglective or it is permissive.
Yes.
It may cause this child to follow what I do, and also balance what they find in church and the religion that they get from all sides. And this child may become very weak in so many areas.
Now,
yes.
Let me come to you. The aspect of authoritarian kind of parenting and the aspect of religion, does it mean that the child has to follow the religion that the parent subscribes to? Is it a must? And how does that affect the child's decision-making process in that aspect?
Yes, thank you so much. You know, when you talk of the issue of the authoritarian way of parenting, this stems back to the Holy Bible and also to the Holy Quran.
Yes.
If we misinterpret the verses, because you see, when you talk of you keep the rod away and then you spoil the child.
Yes.
That stems from the Holy Bible. But it needs some of us to tell people what was the context then. When you look at the Holy Quran also, we are told to teach our children how to pray when they are young, up to when they are 7. From 7 to 10, we are told to force them. Then after 10 years, we are supposed to beat them. That is what the Hadith says. But you see, there is a context on the same. But looking at this, then you realize that a religion has its own way of teaching issues. So when you look at those verses, they try to show you that a child must follow the path of their parents. And that is why it is important, when a child now becomes adult, they are now allowed to look at their own life and decide which path to follow. And that is why in the Holy Quran, Allah tells us, وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ, we have guided this human being to two paths. So you either choose the path of your parents or you choose the other path. And we have seen this happening amongst even the prophets. Some of the children didn't follow their path, but many times if you don't follow the path of your parents, sometimes there are some consequences. Like the child of Noah, he didn't follow the path of their parents. So what I'm trying to say is that when you look at the divine books, they have each and everything. And that's why in the Holy Quran we are told, مَا فَرَّطْنَا فِي الْكِتَابِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. We have not left anything, but it's there in the Holy Quran. So parenting should be followed in a way that it is positive. Because if the parent has negative impact on the child, Quran tells us that the child should not follow that parent. Actually, Quran is so clear. So if a child comes and they realize that their parents are on the wrong path, They are not supposed to follow the parents in any way.
But what if in the case that the parent is saying it's my way or the highway?
They are rotative.
Now, that is where I highly thank the Constitution of Kenya 2010. It is a very progressive constitution. And when you look at it, it has very good rights for children. And that's why you also have children rights and the Children Act. Some days back, we saw one parent highly beating the child. I don't remember the place, but I got the information because I was following up that issue, being a child rights protector. We followed the matter. We sent some of our officers there, the Muslim. The child was highly beaten to a way that the child was bleeding highly. So some people are saying it is because this child followed his friend to a mosque. The child is a Christian. So he followed a friend to a mosque. The child was highly beaten. As we speak, he's still in the hospital. It is in western part of Kenya. But you see, when the parents was followed, he said it is not because of the child going to mosque. It is because the child is a thief. So the question is, because when I was asking some people, everyone has their own view on the child. I was telling people, please, let's not become stupid. Let's not become ignorant. No one is allowed to beat a child like that. And actually, we are calling upon the government to arrest that person, because that person must rot in jail. Even if it's your own child, you cannot beat your child to a point of even taking him down, strangling him, and beating him to a point that he's fainting. Then when he comes out of the fainting, he recovers. You beat him again till he faints. We cannot do that, irrespective of what the child has done. So what I'm trying to say, the government there is supposed to take the child, because all children in this country belongs to the government. That is the best thing, and we highly thank the drafters of the Constitution as far as children's rights are concerned. And that's why I work with the World Vision International as their global consultant on interfaith matters. And we have a channel, a model called Channels of Hope, where we teach people how to apply religion in technical manner. So as per this one, we say that no one is supposed to inflict authority, to force their authority on children. Children are not supposed to use authority on them. Just use your brain, use your mind, use your wisdom, use your sympathy, and I'm so sure the children will be the best.
Going by what the Sheikh has said, Njeri, how then do you decide or define the values that you want to instill to your kids, and how does religion influence them?
So the values that you should instill on your child are measured by the society in general. And we all know the good values, if I may use that word, and we know the bad values. And sometimes you find even some people are not religious, like the atheist, but they are general values that they can impact their children and even the society at large. So you have to have that balance. Is this what is morally acceptable to the society despite of my religion? If I teach my child this, are they going to be acceptable in the society? Will the society embrace this child? Will the society give love to this child? Because that is all that really matters. Yeah.
Do these values have to be based on a religion? Do they have to stem from religion?
I believe every religion has their basics, and from the research that I have done, basically all the values are the same. Love, care, togetherness, those are the basic values of each and every religion. So I believe it is okay to be in any religion, but as long as you're impacting the right values according to the society, then there is no problem.
Pastor Paul, now, how then do you balance teaching your child your beliefs and values while still accepting or respecting their individuality?
Yeah, the issue of respecting the individuality is very important, and even the Bible says, like, it's a scripture that says that this day I've given you to choose between curse and blessing, good and evil. And choose good that you may live with you, and your seed shall live too. So it happens to, it's about choice. And however much as a parent you want to push a child to a certain religion and your faith how it is, the most important thing is value, as she has said. Because what makes that child what they become is what is valuable to that child. Because they also have thoughts to think. A child, you may be so much strict in what you say, but if you give that child room to speak to you, you find there are things that values that in that child that you have never known. And there is something that they can be able to tell you and help you. Give them a room also to speak and know what they want, but also nurture them and show them that way. Exactly as Sheikh said as was beginning, that there's the spare the rod and spoil the child. And you find that the Bible also says when the child is good, the father is honored, but the mother is dishonored when that is in all religion. That one happens to be there. But you find it's not about who is who. It's about the values that comes out of that child and what they become. Because if you don't train them maybe to be givers in life, they will not be caregivers. You may become, maybe you are those people that cannot even give up a piece of bread to a neighbor. That child will become they will learn from you and become that way. But if you show them that, like I have a friend of mine that the child is in Form 2, and that child, whenever there is room, he'll tell the mother, you have to take me to a children's home. The boy goes there and gives food. He cooks for the old children's home. At Form 2, he's nurturing that person to be someone in the society and has opened the door. So as parents also, as we may even sometimes give a lot of time into the religion and show what we want in all that we want, but also we need to instill values that will cause that person when you are not there. Because remember, we are passing. A generation is coming. When you are not there, what will that become? Because you may bring one value and run with it, but remember, everything has to become branches for this person to be valuable to the society. Yes.
So, how do you navigate parenting now in a situation where the parents do not share the same religious beliefs? They belong to different religions.
Thank you so much, Mike. Actually, we are in very interesting times.
Yes.
And as you know, I authored a book by the name Pieces of Me, My Journey into Interfaith Dialogue and Diplomacy. And the reason we came up with this book is because we realized that currently the issue of intermarriage, the issue of interfaith dialogue is taking shape in a way that people did not expect.
Yeah.
There are many parents who belong to different faiths. Some of them are Muslim. Maybe the father is a Muslim, the mother is a non-Muslim. Or the mother is Muslim, the father is a non-Muslim. And sometimes you also find a lady who is maybe a Christian married by a Hindu or vice versa. These cases are there. Now, navigating through this parenting is very challenging if the parents do not undertake a course and understand each other. So what you're trying to say, the best is to do what our sister said, making sure that all these parents go with the universal parenting principles, because they are there. There are universal parenting principles. And one of the universal parenting principles is being a good example to their children. So you be a good example to your children so that your children can follow you. And this is in the Holy Bible. As you can see, it's in the Holy Quran. Quran asks us, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu lima taquluna ma la taf'alun kabura maqtan inda Allahi an taqulu ma la taf'alun. Or you believe, why do you say that which you do not practice? It is greatly incurs the wrath of God to say what you do not practice. That is in Quran chapter 61 verse 2 to 3. So the most example first is doing the best so that your children can follow you. Teaching children to speak the truth is also one of the values. Caring is sharing, sharing is caring, as they are taught in the school. And also having empathy and sympathy with each other. So these are the rules of parenting which are in all religions. Of course, there are others which come, like the issue of eating. That's another issue because all religions have what you eat. But those are some of the principles, global principles, standardized principles of taking care of our children. So the parents should focus on that. When it comes to religious teachings, so that they don't fight. You know, the parents sometimes fight.
Actually, the confusion,
fight.
because there will be confusion on the kids deciding, do I follow my mom, do I follow my dad?
You know, Mike, I'm a marriage officer.
Yes.
And you all remember that when we had the shortlisting of the Chief Cardinal of Kenya, I was amongst the top. We have realized that many marriages are breaking currently when children now, when they have small children, they have no problem. But when now children come to age, for example, 5, now The mother won't. And you know, actually, the truth of the matter is that women are the ones who go to church regularly. Men sometimes will say, no, today I'll not go to church. Maybe I was drunk yesterday. Maybe I'm tired. So you realize that the wife wants to take the children to church. Maybe she's Anglican. But the father who is a Catholic, for example, I'm just giving an example, decides to sleep. So the child says that me, I'll sleep with daddy. Now the mother says, no, we must go to church. And the child will ask, why are you leaving daddy behind when you're forcing us to go to church? Now this week, the father allows them to go to the church they are going with the mother. Next week, when the father now wants to go to Catholic church, for example, or even mosque, now he decided I want to go to with the children to mosque. And you realize that there will be conflict. And unfortunately, children will see the conflict amongst the parents. Because they'll be fighting for the children, and that is where the split between the parents start. So it is important for the parents to decide when they have children, where do we take them? And how do we do it? They can decide maybe we'll be taking them this Sunday to this church, this other Sunday to this church, and it be a norm. Or we are, and that's why this is where actually in Islam, a woman, a Muslim man can marry a non-Muslim woman. But a non-Muslim, a Muslim woman cannot be married by a non-Muslim man. And people keep on asking, why is it so? You know, in the family many times, authority is with the man. So when the man now is a Muslim and the wife is a non-Muslim, most of the time you realize that the father will have a say on where to take the children. But if the wife is the one who is a Muslim, then the father is a non-Muslim, you realize that the father will decide to take them maybe to the church. You know, religions have their own politics, and religions protect each other. So that's why you realize that in Islam, Muslim men are allowed to marry women from Ahl al-Kitab, either strict Christians or Christian Jews. Muslim men are allowed to do so because of religion. Because religions look at future. That's where the problem comes. But what I'm trying to say is that there must be an agreement between the parents before the children. Actually, and this agreement should be in the bedroom or somewhere else, not where the children are. The children will only be told, Mike, so and so, this Sunday you'll be going here, Friday you'll be going here, and then when the children come of age, you ask them, where do you want to go? And never force them. Now the challenge is if you have 5 children, you have 5 children, maybe you are poor, you don't have a car, so this father will take 2 children with a matatu to another place, and this one will take the children to another place. Or you have only 1 car, and the churches are very far from each other, or the mosque and the church are very far from each other. You realize that there will always be a conflict. So most of the conflicts which happen currently are because of children and because parents do not understand parenting. And that's why this topic at parenting here, as we speak, it's a very important topic, especially now during holidays. I'm a counselor myself also. And there are many cases which come. And when you realize, you try to understand where is this conflict coming from, you realize that it's because of children. And when it comes about children, it is a matter of parenting.
Picking on what the Sheikh has said, is it the best way to ensure that we are in an interfaith setting, kind of a family setup? Do you agree what the Sheikh is saying, that this will give the children a sense of belonging where the parents have agreed and they have given a leeway for the children to make the decisions for themselves? Yes,
I agree with him. You have to discuss on how you're going to raise the children on matters faith. Even if you're of different faith, let's say Christian and Muslim, you have to decide and discuss even before the children come where you'll be going. Because one funny thing about children, they smell where there is conflict. And they take advantage of that because they'll know if I twist dad's arm, then I'll be on the right side. If I twist mom's arm, I'll have a leeway. So you have to discuss and know which way to go. And my suggestion is, if you don't come up with a solution, then find a neutral ground. Where can you fit, where I can also fit. Then you start from there.
Yes. Yeah. It circles back to the question of autonomy. And the question I would want you to address is, at what age or at what point should that the parents allow the kid to make that decision?
In fact, I was just about to request to talk about, we know that we have these small children,
Yes.
and there are those who have become big.
Yeah.
And there are also parents who have no religion and they have no values at all. I went to a certain school, I think it's Langata Secondary School, and I was talking about honoring parents. And I was telling them, whatever it happens, that's a seed that brought you, and that's why you are there. Whether he's a drunkard or what, you have to honor them because there's a blessing. And one child came out and said, you say that we honor them. But let me tell you, Pastor, there are some parents you just look at where you fix that respect, you can't see room. Some parents have no values. And maybe the child raises in school or in the community and find values in a certain religion. And they want to make a decision on what you want to do. I don't want to go out of what we are talking about. I'm just saying that we need also to look at this child who has found a family which has no values in religion, no values in life. But they didn't like what the parents do, and they want to become better. They can look for a way, and you find that they come out and hate what the parents were doing. It was said that a certain man was a drunkard and drank to extreme. And one son said, I will never drink like him. And the other said, I will learn from him. So when you find at the end of it, though it was the parent, one of them became best and grew and became a great person. The other one became a drunkard and ended their lives. You see? So there's also the issue of not everybody has a religion. Not everybody has values. Still they give birth to children. And we should not keep those children out of what we are talking about. So if they find a value that can bring them out, they come and say, become a Christian. I'll follow the church. I'll go become a Muslim. I'll follow this. And I've found values in this. That person can become somebody in the society and somebody can be of value to everybody. So as we have said about, we have grown them. They have learned and they have come to an age of maybe 18. And now they can make a decision. Let's say, for example, I was talking to a lady who is just about to get married. I said, in our family, Christmas Day we have to cook. Everybody's cooking. I'm tired of this cooking. I would like to be married in a place where they don't cook on Christmas. So that at least this thing of cooking on Christmas for everybody, we are not given time to relax. So if I'm told that I'll be married where they don't cook on Christmas Day, to me it will be a baggage out of my shoulder. Yeah. There are things that we do that we may think we are doing good and we are training them, but at the end of it, they may pick from them, but they are not values that are bringing them anything. So as they come to 18, of course, even the government, at government level, at 18, that is a grown-up. They can make their own decisions and know which way to go.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me come back to you. Is there successful or unsuccessful religious parenting from your standpoint as a psychologist?
Yes, there is successful parenting. And it's unfortunate that we know that we are successful parents when our children are already adults. But that is where now we have to have a conversation with our children. Have values that the family has and let the child be involved. How can we do this better to fit you while still holding the authority as a parent? And when we talk about unsuccessful parenting, it is where the child mostly becomes deviant, especially to you as a parent. And when that happens, then you have to know that something is not right. So you have to go back to the drawing board. Either talk to the child or call in a third party where the child can, open up, because most of the time when you find the child is deviant, they are not willing to have a conversation with the parent. So ensure that there is a conversation. Get involved also with the institutions that teach about parenting. Get to know what you can do better. I don't want to say what you can do right, but what you can do better, because each child and each family has a set of rules they follow strictly to them. How I parent my child or my children is not the same way another person will parent their child. So get to have that conversation. Am I too rigid in my head that this is what I want and it cannot work for this family, for this child? So you have to have that conversation with the child and also with other institutions to bring that balance.
That is correct. Now, how do you think religion influences or impacts parenting styles?
Thank you so much, Mike. This is a very key, a significant question. You know, in Islam, we are told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ, chapter 33, verse 21, that you have in the Prophet of Allah the best example. Muslims are supposed to look at the prophets, all the prophets, from Adam coming to Moses, to Abraham, to Jesus, to Prophet Muhammad, and all the others. So when you look at how they raised their children, you realize that they were impacting the spiritual morals in their children. Abraham impacted the spiritual morals on his child. And when you talk of parenting, you come to realize that even prophets had challenging in parenting. You realize that Abraham had the first wife, Haggai, Sarah. And then he married Haggai. When he married Haggai, we call her Hajar, you realize that there was conflict between the two wives. What was to us, it was wives. I know, understanding Christianity, they talk of other things, but to us, they were wives. So what happens is that God had to order Abraham to remove one wife from that house. And when you speak of this, you realize that when I talk in mosques currently, I tell Muslim men, because as we are allowed to marry more than one wife,
yes.
Personally, I have two, I'm going to the third one, and God willing, even fourth one, to close the chapter. But you see, you don't even just go and marry.
Yes.
You have to make sure that at least you have money and you have time for the other wife when she comes. So that now, you try to make sure that there is peace at home. So peace is very important at home. If there's no peace, you realize that people will start killing each other, as we have seen cases. Currently, there are many cases going on. We are not encouraging them, but some of the cases are that, especially some of our friends from Northeastern, they marry wives, then they put them in the same house. This brings a challenge. You must make sure that these wives are in different homes. So if one is in Lavington, the other one should be in South B or South C, somewhere a little bit far. So what I'm trying to say is that religion can influence how you take care of your children when they are taught good morals.
Yes.
I'll give my own example. Actually, it's good to give our own examples. My wife loves, according to her, she loves the children so much. Every time my son or one of my sons is in the phone, every time. In fact, during the birthday, when I wanted to buy some, I believe in birthdays where people plant trees. If you are 10 years, you plant 10 trees. You are 20 years, you plant 20 trees. I believe in that. But some people are saying that that is becoming mean because you don't have to pay money for the cake. You eat your cake, but you make sure that you plant trees, because I'm the vice chairman, 5 Actors Network on Climate Justice. Now, the mother comes and give the child a present.
Yeah.
When I look at the present, I didn't know what it is. When the child opened the present, it is a phone. I asked my wife, what is this you're giving our child? Where you understand this is his problem? Phone. I'm telling you, sometimes you wake up, because we Muslims sometimes wake up at 1 a.m. to go and pray. There's that prayer, night prayer, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You go there, you find, I see light in my children's bedroom.
Yes.
And I have to open. When I open, my son is on phone at 2 a.m. Well, so I tell the mother, I will take my children to madrasa. Madrasa is where children are taught Quran. She says, no, our children are young. But I keep on telling her now, this is the third year we are talking of our children being young, but they are operating phones. And you don't know what they're looking at night. So what I decided to do, actually it's yesterday, I'm confessing. My wife is not there.
Yes.
She's out of the city,
yes,
because we are together in Mombasa. I came back, just took a flight, came back, arrived in Nairobi, told my children, pack your clothes. I took them to madrasa. As I speak, they are in madrasa now. For the 2 months. 2 months are so much. I keep on telling people in mosque, if you don't take care of your children in these 2 months, they will be full in their stomach when they are young. You know, if you are full and it is from a good boyfriend and you are above 18, it's okay.
Yes.
But below 18, that is a tragedy. If you don't take care of your children now, they'll be drug addicts. If you don't take care of your children now, they'll be phone addicts. Phone addiction is very bad, she'll tell you. So I decided to take them. They were crying, they cried, but I stayed with them in the madrasa from 9 a.m. I was leaving the place at 9 p.m. when they are going to sleep. But they said, we must come back. I asked them, we'll come back to see you. But how many children live in boarding schools? Personally, I lost my parents when I was very young. I don't even know my father because he passed on when I was only 3 years old. My mother took care of me with a lot of challenges. Then I was taken care of by my grandmother. And my grandmother, because she could not take care of me, she took me to go and study Islam in Mambrui, a place called Mambrui. I stayed there for 6 years. I could only come once a year to see my grandmother or my mother when she was alive, and I could stay with them for only maximum 10 days, then go back there. But I thank God, and there were many challenges there. And as I speak currently, I thank God because I'm a great religious leader. I have ordered many 30 books. I'm a lecturer at the university. I'm a lawyer by profession. So what I'm trying to say is that parents, when we are taking care of our children and parenting, we must balance and try to look at what is the best interest of the, actually that's what the Constitution says, the best interest of the child. The best interest of my children is them being in madrasa in these 2 weeks, in these 2 months. Because I travel frequently, every time I'm on air, the mother is very busy also. We leave the children with our house help. And that's where we have a tragedy. We don't understand how our house help take care of our children. We have seen many things. So to me, the best we can do for our children is to take them to a madrasa if we are not there. But if we are there, we look at them. So I am so sure now, this way, the religion will influence my child positively. But now also, we must look at what religion are we talking of. Are we talking of the Shakahola religion? Are we talking of these religions where we say that they cannot take their children to hospital? Mike, the issue, and the extremism also, we have seen it. What I'm trying to say, Micah, myself and our pastor here, we are lucky. I don't know about her. She looks young. But me and her, we were very lucky. Yes. Because every person in the street who was my father's age was my father. Every person who was my mother's age was my mother. No one could allow me to smoke cigarette. There's a time I tried to smoke, and I was slapped by someone I don't even know. And you see, I could not go home and say, now, slap someone's child. Yes. They will go to the parent and tell, Daddy, they'll have a gut of telling you, you know, actually, so-and-so beat me, and why were you beating? Because I was smoking. Because children nowadays, no one looks at them. How many times have we seen very young girls who we are so sure they are below 14 years old, being taken to brothels, being taken to lodgings by people we don't even know, and we keep quiet because that's not my child. You look at the situation which was there in Isli, where people were coming all the way from America, 60 years old, 70 years old, to come and sleep with girls who are 12, 15. I'm amongst the people who blew the whistle. And some people were asking me, Sheikh Hassan, are these your children? No. Why are you complaining? We must complain. My friend, when you see any child being molested anywhere, being oppressed anywhere, all children are our children. Actually, mine, I'm calling upon each and every Kenyan and each and every individual. We go back to our society. Okay. You see a child doing anything wrong, stop them, and if they don't do it, try to see how you can stop them. And I'm encouraging parents, if a child comes and complains that they have been disciplined by a parent because of seeing them doing wrong, please continue and also add some more so that the child will know that anything I do, I will be looked at and I'll be punished and I'll be destroyed by anyone.
Definitely. It takes a village. But I would want you to talk about, just 1 minute, about how you address where religious teachings do not really align with your parenting style. How do you deal with that?
When the style of parenting does not align with the religious. Yeah, like when you look at the neglective part of it, it's like you allow the children just to find their way out. And it's like they know what to eat, they know when to sleep, they know whether they go to school or you don't care. And it happens with, like he has said, that is not neglective, just because some people are busy. This is what they are doing. But they have put someone there. And you find sometimes that ourselves that we have, we need to have one thing, that's a parent. And let me talk about that. The house helps in our houses and also teachers in school. These two people are parents. And if you become close to them, there are things you can be able to know that you could have not known what they go through. And if you have a bad relationship with your house help, these children can be molested, you don't know. But they are very close to them than you, and they can be able to be of good help to them, and they can nurture them more. So what I'm saying is that it might be a style that is not conversant with a religion, but it depends, because you cannot talk about authoritarian when you are not available. You know, authoritarian means that you are nurturing, you are friendly, you are there, you are conversing, and some parents are very far. It's like they parent children when they are far from the children. So they depend on others. You can use the people who are on the ground to be able to help you, or maybe when they go to church, can you trust the people that are under them if you are not there? Because neglective way of parenting usually comes to faraway parents because of the kind of work. There are people who sleep in the same house. During Corona, a certain child asked the mother, Dad doesn't live with us nowadays. He was sleeping in the same house, but the child did not see him because he left at 5 and came at 9 p.m. or 10 when they are sleeping. So during Corona, everybody was in the house, and the child was like, does he live here nowadays? You see? So he was there, but he was absent. Not because he doesn't want to be there. So it is about the church can help much, and also the person who takes care of them, feeding them and cooking for them. You need to make sure that person is trustworthy and also connected to what you believe in, so that they don't inflict. You may leave them there and they are inflicted something that is not good.
Yes. And
you find that your child is like let me finish with this particular part of the TV. Like now children are closing schools, and I was talking of an example where you find an Indian. In the morning, he takes the son out of the house. They go together, he opens the door. The boy is selling, the father is taking money. But some of us, that boy will watch movies you don't even know. Terror movies up to 2 a.m. Let me tell you, your eye is the highway to your heart. And your ears is the highway to your heart. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what we deposit in them at this time, we have to guard what they see, what they hear, and where they go.
Yes.
We have to be very careful.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, in the interest of time, I'll give you each 30 seconds to give your closing remarks. Yeah. Let me start with you.
Yeah, it's wide. We can.
Yes, it's very wide.
It's very wide. You have not touched anything yet.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you to all our viewers. My parting shot is that children are our own. We are a village. Let us raise children together. In case you have any challenge, consult professional, consult religious leaders, consult your mentors on how to go about it. Thank you.
Sheikh.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much for all our viewers. May God bless you. Number one, I would like to advise each and every person that children are the best resource we have, are the best bounty we have from God. Let us not take all the time looking for money and neglecting our children and our wives. If you neglect our wives, what happened in Guinea will happen in Kenya. And if we neglect our children, they will go against us. So please, let's take care of our children and our wives. Let's give them time.
Yes.
The other thing, let us make sure that in these 2 months when children are at home, if you are Muslim, make sure that they memorize the Holy Quran. And make sure that our children also, we make sure that we control the television. Television has created a big problem. I was in Mombasa, and I was crying yesterday because there are juvenile criminal in crime in Mombasa. Why? Many people in coast go to work in Saudi Arabia and other places, leave their wives at home. Now, when they leave their wives at home, their wives are also working outside. Children have no one to work on them, to mentor them, and that's where we have this problem. So please, let us focus on children and let the entire village, the entire country, focus on children. All children are ours. If you see my child doing wrong, please stop them. If I see yours, I'll stop them. God bless.
Pastor Pan.
The Bible says, train a child in the way they should go, and when they grow, they'll not forget about it. So it is what you train at now, and the values that you instill at this time will be seen in their future. Yes. So let us try as much as we can, and this time of holidays, let us guard what they see, guard what they hear, check where they are going, and who they come together with.
We appreciate your time so much. This is where we end this conversation. Thank you for tuning in. This is where Good Morning Kenya puts a full stop. Today, we meet again tomorrow morning. My name is Mike Megwe. Thank you for tuning in.